you got the record with Rihanna, the Monster, and you guys seem to have a lot of great chemistry together. Obviously, she was the perfect match for that song, in your opinion, but why?
I don't know, just the kind of mood of the record. Like, I felt like as soon as I got the beat, it was like I just heard her on it, you know? And I wanted to make sure that I had it finished first and, you know, to be able to present to her. But, you know, once I had the rhymes done, you know, sent it to her. I had to send it to her because, you know, schedules conflict and shit like that. And plus the record was kind of pulled together at the last minute.
Yeah.
That record. There was a couple of records on here that were kind of pulled together at the last minute. So, you know, sent it to her. She laid the hook, sent it back. She smashed it.
Yeah.
And she does always. And it's pretty incredible. But
that's a great song. You think you guys do a video for it?
I don't know. Paul?
Yes. Paul says yes.
I think people look at us both like we're a little nuts, you know? And that's one of the things I was telling her in making the record, was like, I think that people look at us like a little crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's got her thing going on, and my thing, I got whatever that is.
Did she embrace that idea? You know, that, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
I think so. She did the record, so that's cool, you know?
There's always people scrutinizing your words. Do you anticipate that, or you've had this so many times in your career that it's just...
I mean, listen, I guess since I came in this game or whatever, my purpose for rapping is, and my mentality still to this day, is very much like it was, you know, at the hip hop shop, where I rap to get a reaction. And, you know, especially then, it was like, I need to say this because I might not get to have the mic again.
Yeah.
So I always try to rap like that. You know what I'm saying? So I would rather have some kind of reaction. And if my music sparks debates and conversation or whatever, be it right, be it wrong or whatever, I would rather have it get a reaction, you know, a bad reaction than no reaction, you know, because no reaction sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of like
that?
Well, that's kind of a reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be, I don't know what no reaction looks like, but
all right.
Yeah, so that would suck. So yeah, and you know, since I've been rapping and since I got signed with Dre and the whole thing, like, I've kind of always weaved in and out of characters and things like that I play on the album and whatever. But I mean, it just is what it is.
The Marshall Mathers LP2. When you decided to name it that, believe it or not, man, it caused a frenzy in the music business because people were such big fans of the first project, and a lot of people thought, man, I hope he doesn't trip up on the legacy of it all.
It all up.
Yeah, right. That's what a lot of people thought.
Yeah.
But something inspired you to do that. What was it that inspired you to do that?
Tell me if this makes sense, man.
Okay.
With this record, I started to get a theme a little earlier than maybe I had in some of the previous albums. Like, sometimes when I'm making a record, I may get like a concept or whatever, or direction to go, you know, maybe like midway through it or something. Sometimes they don't come till the tail end, you know what I'm saying? So with this record, I had a little bit more of a direction to go, just based off of like making the Bad Meets Evil EP with Royce.
Yeah.
You know, when we made that EP, it was like we didn't have the restraints of making an album and having to worry about rounding it out. It was more like just get in there and just have fun with it.
Yeah.
You know, and I kind of spiraled off of that into just making records that kind of felt like in that vein. And then I started getting like a lot of, I was making some beats and getting some from Rick, you know, that kind of reminded me, they were kind of nostalgic. And I felt like it kind of it put me in the mood to like kind of reflect. And the more I started reflecting on certain things, the more everything started coming into place. It just kind of fell into place, and I started getting the direction to go. But you know, I did do a lot of records for this man because whatever the legacy may be for that album or whatever, I do know, and again, that's subject to opinion.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but whatever it is, I know that I wanted to make it make sense. So I recorded a lot of songs to make sure that I had the right ones to be able to be able to call it that and make it make sense.
Uphold that tradition, that bar.
Yeah, that was a really long
but
answer.
That one made a lot of sense. A lot of people consider that first album like one of, you know, definitely one of the best ones. So people were concerned. There's songs on that album too, on this album that you immediately think of other songs you made in the past. When I think of Stan, when I hear the song Bad Guy, you know, and can you talk about the relation between Stan and Bad Guy?
Making the Bad Guy record, I felt like I want to make sure that I make something that ties in with the Marshall Mathers LP, you know, the first one. And I wanted to make it make sense that if I'm gonna go down this road, this could be, you know, be ready for what's about to happen. You know, so it's kind of like, to me, the song, the way I was thinking when I wrote it was like, what if this, you know, nightmare just happened, that I decided to do this album and everything just started coming back on me. Matthew came back, you know, Stan's little brother, and he came back to kill me. Just all this just started happening. So it was kind of like, Bad Guy to me is more like, technically to me, it's more like an intro to the album.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is what's about to happen. Here it is. And then picking up from the criminal skit where the Marshall Mathers LP left off. You know, I don't know if anyone caught that, but that's kind of where the continuation starts, because criminal left off with that.
I remember that. I didn't catch it. Rap God, when you first heard that beat, how long did it take you? Like, what was your process? Because that's one of the most lyrical rap songs ever written. If you count the syllables, the metaphors, the words, and then the amount of different flows that you performed in that one song is, I still haven't counted through it yet. You know, how long did it take you? Like, what was the process of writing that song?
I don't know, because like I said, I kind of stopped counting bars.
Yeah.
And that particular beat was, the beat was so crazy, developed to that beat. And the beat was so crazy to me when I first heard it, it just made me want to write. And for some reason that hook popped in my head, you know, and it just kind of took off from there. And I think, I'm not even sure when I wrote it or where I wrote it, because everything kind of blends together. You know, I was just writing a lot. So when that got done, I'm not even sure, probably 6 minutes.
6 minutes?
Yeah, as long as it took to rap it. I freestyled it. That was off the top of the dome, by the way.
Wow, son, you're sick.
Thanks, man.
Nah,
I don't know how long it took to write it. It just
happened.
It just happened, man.
I felt like, you correct me if I'm wrong, I felt like that was a
You're
message.
wrong.
Okay, thank you. But I'll say it. I felt like it was you laying down, that sounds corny, laying down the law, but I felt like it was you making your stake, your claim that, hey, listen, man, I ain't went nowhere. And by the way, you know, I'm still Eminem. So you know, it was like you posturing almost with that song, like to other rappers, and as if you had a gladiator's heart. Am I putting too much in that, or as a rapper?
I mean, you know, those are very strong words. You know what I mean? But yeah, at the end of the day, yes, I definitely want to. I rap to be competitive.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And everybody, every time they make a song, wants to be able to say, I'm still here. Don't forget about me, you know? But my thing is, I want to try to, sometimes I get bored with rap. And what I mean is, like, I start, like, I always want to be able to try to discover new flows and new patterns and new ways to work words and like that. So that particular song was just me kind of tinkering around with different styles, and it was like the way that the beat was structured, you know, some of the calmer parts, and then it gets amped again and energetic. You know, I want to make sure that the rhyme matched what the beat was doing, and like I said, about a minute and a half, it was done.
That just a minute and a half, you did that 6-minute song. Love Game is a great song with Kendrick Lamar. Only rapper featured on the album, and you're surrounded by a lot of dope rappers in your camp alone. What made you decide to go with Kendrick, though?
Well, what happened was, funny you should ask that.
Yeah.
I was recording for so long and so many songs, and I had done so many songs and was trying to squeeze a lot of songs on the CD, and some wouldn't fit. And I was just going, like I never really stopped I just kept writing songs and recording, and then, okay, this one might be cool, this one not so good, put this one over here. You know what I'm saying? And trying to structure this shit out. And by the time I got to a place where, okay, I think we're close with being able to be finished and call it that, you know, the Mathers LP2 and all that, it kind of came together at the end, because it was like, I have no features like rappers on here, and the one name that popped up was like, man, Kendrick, you know, I had just met him. He came to Detroit, kicked it with him for a minute. Not met him, I had met him at Coachella actually, but got a chance to, you know, chop it up with him in Detroit, and he's a really cool dude. Like, he's really, you know, super humble, super cool, and just got a chance, liked him as a person, you know, and the fact that, you know, he's on Aftermath, we're on the same label, it just made sense. So he came in, and I'm super grateful that he did it, and he killed it. So
he did kill it. And it was interesting because conceptually it wasn't what most people thought it might have been. You know, they thought it might have been like you and Royce going head up, lyric to lyric, but it's a concept behind it.
Right.
And you chose to do that for what reason?
Well, like I said, it came together kind of at the end, even the idea to do it. So I had so many songs. There's like, when you listen to the album, I know that it's a lot of rap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm rapping a lot on it. And what I mean is, like, I'm not even necessarily counting bars. Like, it wasn't even counting bars. I was just rapping until I feel like I've said what I need to say and whatever. And so there's a lot of, you know, one of the things I told him when I got together with him was, I said I laid a couple of ideas down, and I could play you these other ones, but this one I'm geared towards more, just because I like the other verses that I have laid are kind of rapidy rap, and I've got so much of that on my album. I feel like this one might be a better direction to go, just conceptually and everything. And plus the fact, you know, when Rick sent me that beat, it was so different to me, you know, and it was like, I don't think people would really expect us on a record like this, and expect him to be on a record that sounds like that. You know, the sound of it is really, I don't know, I think it's got a unique sound to it. So he liked the concept, and we decided to go with that.